gotta be right on the edge of the table. There you go. Thank you.
We're gonna leave the book or somebody.
Yeah, the book of life.
Sorry. Okay, ready to sing the song again? You sang the song a lot. Are you sure you want to sing it again?
How many times? Like 365 times this year.
A lot more than that. Jai Radha Madhava All glories to srimadbhagavatam.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to srimadbhagavatam.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru Shri Guru.
All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this morning we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, entitled Status Quo, Chapter 23, Devahuti's Lamentation, on text 43. Prikshayatva bhuvo golam.
Prikshayatva bhuvo golam.
Patnyayavan svasamstaya.
Patnyayavan svasamstaya.
Avyashtrayam mahayogi.
Avashcharyam mahayogi.
Sashamayan yavartata.
Svashramaya svavartata.
Prikshahitva bhuvo golam.
Prikshayatva pravo golam.
Padyayavan svasamstaya.
Padnyayavan svasamstaya.
Bhavashtrayam mahayogi.
Bhavascharya Mahayogi.
Swashamayan yavartata.
Svasramaya Navartata Prikshayitva Bhugolam Patnyayavan Svasamstaya Bhavacharyam Mahayogi Svasramaya Navartata
Prikshayitva Bhugolam Patnyayavan Svasamstaya
Bhavacharyam Mahayogi
Swasramaya
Navartata
Prikshayitva Bhugolam Patnyayavan Svasamstaya Bhavacharyam Mahayogi Svasramaya Navartata
Great.
Prikshayitva after showing Bhuvaha
the universe of the universe. Golam the globe. Patnyai to his wife. As much.
Svasamstaya
with its arrangements. Bahu Ashtaryam full of many wonders.
Mahayogi
great yogi.
Cardamom.
Sva-ashramaya to his own hermitage. Nyavartata returned. Excuse me, translation. After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements, full of many wonders, the great yogi Cardamom Muni returned to his own hermitage. All the planets are here described as Gola, round. Every planet is round, and each planet is a different shelter, just like islands in the great ocean. Planets are sometimes called Dvipa or Varsha. This earth planet is called Bharat Varsha because it was ruled by King Bharat. Another significant word used in this verse is Bhavacharyam, many wonderful things. This indicates that the different planets are distributed all over the universe in the 8 directions, and each and every one of them is wonderful in itself. Every planet has its particular climatic influences and particular types of inhabitants, and is completely equipped with everything, including the beauty of the seasons. The Brahma Samhita 540 is similarly stated, Vibhuti Binnam. On each and every planet there are different opulences. It cannot be expected that one planet is exactly like another. By God's grace, by nature's law, each and every planet is made differently and has different wonderful features. All such wonders were personally experienced by Cardamom Muni while he traveled with his wife. Yet he could return again to his humble hermitage. He showed his princess wife that although he was living in the hermitage, he had the power to go everywhere and do anything by mystic yoga. That is the perfection of yoga. One cannot become a perfect yogi simply by showing some sitting postures, nor by such sitting postures or so-called meditation can one become God, as being advertised. Foolish persons are misled into believing that simply by some caricature of meditation and sitting postures, one can become God within 6 months. Here is an example of a perfect yogi. He could travel all over the universe. Similarly, there is a description of Durvasa Muni, who also traveled in space. Actually, the perfect yogi can do that. But even if one can travel all over the universe and show wonderful feats like Cardamom Muni, he cannot be compared to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose power and inconceivable energy can never be attained by any conditioned or liberated soul. by the actions of Karma Muni, we can understand that in spite of his immense mystic power, he remained a devotee of the Lord. That is the real position of every living entity. Om Jnanati Balanandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshura Tasmai Shri Ravinha Kam Parivachalam Ham Namaste Vidanya Kapatamaham Vande Shri Ramandi Vitanam Pansha Kapitishta Kapasubhivcha Patikana Vamigo Vashmedya Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
After showing his wife the globe of the universe and its different arrangements full of many wonders, the great yogi Karma Muni returned to his own hermitage.
Well, what is caricature?
The editor here.
What does it mean?
Why do you have that?
Ludicrous or
I probably use it to mean simulation or imitation.
Yeah. Description.
Description.
Caricature is normally like, I could write like an artist with a caricature of Zach. It reminds me of Zach and looks exactly like that.
Foolish persons are misled into believing that simply by some caricature of meditation.
In other words,
Meditation.
Imitation.
a pale reflection of real meditation.
Okay. All right. So, we're in the third canto now, and eventually we'll be reaching the fifth canto.
Fourth canto.
Well, eventually we'll hit the fifth canto. And the fifth canto is in many ways a difficult subject matter to understand, especially for people who do not have that inclination. Because if you just after this class, you could look at the fifth canto and see what you make of it. All the calculations and everything. It's quite. So in some ways, it's mysterious. And Srila Prabhupada commented that when the fifth canto would come out, that many of his disciples would leave the movement, and that was also true. There's many cases of that. Prabhupada had a personal disciple, Pradyumna. No, not Pradyumna.
Not Pradyumna.
Anyways, one of them.
He was called Purushottama.
Purushottama. So, anyways, he left, and I'm sure others. But, and why is that? Because it doesn't really, the fifth canto, at least, obviously some parts of it, don't really tally up with the modern perspective on the universe.
Seem a little too fantastic.
Yeah, a little bit too fantastic and so on. So, anyways, if other devotees after the class, during question and comments time, they want to discuss or talk about, bring up anything about what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned as purport, referring to all the planets here described as Gola round, every planet is round, each planet is a different shelter, and so on, so on, so on like that. If anyone would like to comment later. But as we hear from the Bhagavatam that there are the hellish regions, the hellish planets, and then we have this earthly, where we are now, and then we have the heavenly planets. And depending on our activities, on our desires, and sometimes, on our activities and our desires, we may go to those different places, or we do go to those places. Therefore, we're here. Right now, we're not in the hellish regions, we're not in the heavenly planets, due to our past activities. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Brahmanda Brahmati Kon Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhaktilata Beach. That the soul, or us, we are transmigrating from body to body, species to species, right? Sometimes higher species, sometimes lower species, heavenly planets, hellish planets, right? Dogs, hogs, whatever. Krishna's always with us. And then the Bhagavan Jeev, the sincere or the fortunate, specifically the fortunate soul, they come in contact with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. And by the grace of that spiritual master, they obtain Krishna, they get to go back to Godhead and all this business of transmigration. And if we And if we analyze why we stay in this world, it is due to material desire. We have unfulfilled desires. Maybe now we have some unfulfilled desires. Anyone have unfulfilled desires here? Maybe Janardan raises his hand. So we have unfulfilled desires, and at the time of death, if we still have unfulfilled desires, material desires, we're still desiring something material, then we take another body. So if we're desiring whatever the list we have, there's a big list of material desires. If we're desiring any of those, then we take another material body. So the whole point in Krishna consciousness is the beginning. There's training as brahmachari training, and then some, not all, some they go to household life. But at the end of life, it's always supposed to end in renunciation, whether it be sannyas complete or vanaprastha death. And this is very important, this ending in renunciation. This is what Karma Muni is exemplifying here. He was a brahmachari, he married, but now the next chapter he's going to renounce the renunciation of Karma Muni. This is extremely important. Not that we remain attached to our whole lives. So if we analyze this idea of how do we become fortunate, how do we get the mercy of Krishna, right? So as we know, there are different types of devotees. There are Kanishta devotees, there are Madhyama devotees, and then there's Uttama, right? Bhaktas, the highest. So the Kanishta devotees, they're very busy, right? And what are they busy doing? Any ideas?
Yeah. Well, it says that they have great respect for the deity.
Yeah, great respect for the deity.
And they put $1 or $2 in the hundi.
They put a few dollars in the hundi.
But they disregard the devotees, and what to speak of others. They don't have any respect for the devotees.
Yeah, they don't respect.
They probably won't sit in class.
Yeah, they probably won't sit in class. So yeah, they're busy. They're busy worshiping the deity, and they're busy not seeing God anywhere else, just in the temple, and not respecting others properly like that. And the Uttama, they're also very busy. The highest devotee. What are they busy doing? Chanting Hare Krishna, serving Krishna. And they're busy in the sense of looking everywhere and seeing everybody's devotees of Krishna, right? This is what they're seeing, besides themselves. So therefore, there's no need to preach. So for the Kanishta, there's no need to preach, right? Or they don't preach, there's no desire. And for the Uttama, they don't preach. So that just leaves the middle devotee, the Madhyama. In the Madhyama, they see that, yes, there's Krishna, there are devotees, there's the envious, and then there's the innocent. So they try to help the innocent. So this is how we get the mercy of Krishna. We get the mercy of Krishna by the Madhyama, by the Madhyama Adhikari. And it says here that Kardama Muni, he returned to his humble hermitage, right? He toured and then he returned to his humble hermitage. So in other words, he didn't lose it. He didn't lose his mind, right? He toured around. He saw the places, right? He saw the beautiful places. He enjoyed for so many years that he returned to his humble hermitage. So he didn't lose it. Like sometimes devotees lose it, there was one bhakta here, and devotees took him to rainbow gathering, It wasn't even a heavenly place. I mean, it's kind of heavenly. Colorado, the woods of Colorado, kind of nice. But what to speak of all these other places, real heavenly places. So they took him there, and then, he went there to help serve prasadam and the whole thing, and then he just kind of fell off the course there. was seen in the drum circle, smoking pot, and all this kind of stuff. He lost it. In other words, he lost it. So, but Karna Muni, he went so many places. He went here, went there, he enjoyed it. He didn't lose it. He returned to his hermitage, eventually renounced like that. So this is what training does, brahmachari training, in that later on in life, whatever one may do, not necessarily that anybody will leave here, I'm not implying that, but on a larger scale, talking about ISKCON world and devotees in general, that whatever they may do, they have the ability to renounce later. This is the greatness of training, and this ability not to lose it, not to lose our minds in certain circumstances. This is very important, and this is actually what determines whether we're advanced or not advanced. Or there's obviously, what is it called, a spectrum. It's not that you're just, generally speaking, it's not that you're just advanced and then you're not advanced, but there's like a spectrum of. So the point is, we have to become dhira. We have to become undisturbed. Not that we're disturbed by every little thing. Not that we're disturbed by every little thing. Somebody says something to us, somebody looks at us, somebody this, whatever. There's so many little things that we could get disturbed about. What to speak of the big things. And this is extremely important that we become undisturbed, because at the time of death, which everyone must face, every one of us in this room and every one of us on this planet, after all, it's Martu Loka, means planet of death, things become very disturbed. The body becomes so much pain and anguish like that. So we have to train ourselves how not to become disturbed. And that's the training of Krishna consciousness. And one who could do that, they could actually help people. They could actually help people. Without becoming dhira, we can't really help. We can't really help people. We can to some degree, but ultimately we can't. So this is what Krishna is requiring of us. This is what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's asking us to do. Become dhira. Vacho vegam, manaso krodha vegam, jiva vegam, adharapasta vegam, etan vegam, yavisha heta dhira, sarvam epimam pitadim shishya. So the tongue, right? Urge, anger, urge, belly, urge, all these urges. Speech. Tongue, belly, genitals, speech, anger, all these urges are there. But it says one who can tolerate them, the dhira, they can make disciples all over the world. And this is Lord Chaitanya's instruction to everybody. What is it? The verse, which Sana? Guru hoy desh, yari dakata kaha Krishna badesh, maragai hoy, Guru badesh. Wherever you go, wherever you meet, tell them about Krishna. And in this way become a guru and deliver the land. But guru means to check these urges. So dhira. So we have to learn how not to be disturbed. And if we do let things bother us, then that is a sign we're not fixed in transcendence, which we don't have to be depressed about. We just have some work to do. So Srila Prabhupada, he's advising us over and over again in his books. He's saying we have to think of the bigger picture. We can't just always think of our little life, right? This little life that we have and this little world we're in, right? And our interests and our needs and our desires and this and that, just like our bodies, right? But he's asking us to expand our consciousness. out? What about other people, right? What about the world? It's a big world, right? I just said it's small one, smaller group. What about the world, right? What about going back to Godhead? Not just like, me, and, this is very, we're limiting ourselves. And once we start and continue and become more, fixed up in this idea of looking out in this big world, seeing a bigger picture of reality, then we're actually going for ultimate self-interest. So this is an intelligent thing to do. And Durvasa Muni here, Prabhupada's talking about Durvasa Muni. Or one more thing about Prabhupada's talking about these people that claim to be God, right? You could be God in 6 months and so on. Not only in the past we bring up all these people, right? Sai Baba and all these people. But even now there's so many people coming up. We don't have to get into all their names and details of their activities. Which are really ridiculous what they do and what they say. But people are being cheated now. And the point is, people are very easily cheated nowadays. Just like there was this guy, I think he was in Sedona. He was half Indian American. And he decided to become a guru. So he shaved his head, he didn't shave his head. He grew his hair out, grew his beard, put on the cloth, saffron cloth and everything. Developed a following, his own philosophy. And there was a huge crowd of people over a few months. But he was doing this just to show how gullible people are and how naive and people are. So he's going like that. And at one point, he came in, he said, okay, I can't do this anymore. So he shaved his head, he put on a suit, and he walked into where he was supposed to give the lecture. And we're like, oh, what's up with this guy? This is supposed to be the guru. And he went up there and he said, yeah, I've cheated you, and I'm not actually a guru, and I made all this up. And a lot of people got up and they're angry, they walked out. It's a whole video. You can look it up if you want. It's a whole video on this. But some people, interesting enough, is they wanted to keep on following him. That's whatever. But the point is, people are easily cheated. But also us, we could also be easily cheated. It's not that. Until we have firm faith in Krishna and in Krishna consciousness, we could also be swayed. We can be swayed by Maya, first and foremost, with all of her tricks up her sleeve. And we could also be tricked in so many ways. Joining other groups and so on. Devotees sometimes, you don't hear about it too much, but you go back to Buddhism or something. So we have to be careful that we're not cheated, that we don't cheat ourselves. Because after all, what are one of the 4 defects? Cheating propensity, yes. But cheating propensity, we could also relate it to ourselves. We have a propensity to cheat ourselves. Or else why would we be in this world for so long? It means we cheated ourselves. Or we allowed ourselves to be cheated. So Durvasa Muni and Kardama Muni and all these great sages and yogis, they have this extreme power where they can create this aerial mansion, and Durvasa Muni traveled the universe, and they have these extreme powers. But as Prabhupada said here, they cannot be compared to Krishna, who's the supreme powerful. Just like in the next verse, it says, Kardama, or the next few verses, Kardama, he expanded himself into how many forms?
9.
Okay, 9. Yeah, 9. You were close. You said 8. Close. 9 forms. Whereas Krishna, he expanded himself into 16,108 at that particular time. Of course, he could do more, but and he was doing different things with in those different expansions. So they cannot be compared to Krishna. So he is the Yogeshwara, right? The master mystic power.
And that's also where the saying that women are 9 times more
Yeah.
lusty than
Yeah, women are 9 times more. We'll get
came
into
from that point.
We'll get into that, and maybe Dravida Prabhu, or maybe when Radha's song comes, that'll be the verse. Anyways, I don't know. We have to discuss that. What's going to happen with Mars
Special verse.
in the class? Yeah.
So watch out for the wind.
But if Dravida Prabhu gives, it'll be recorded.
Thanks a lot.
I didn't arrange that. It wasn't my intent.
You can do another verse right now.
I could do another verse. Yeah, 9 forms, Krishna 16,000. Obviously there's a difference between the Jiva and Krishna, and there's a difference between all of us, clearly. I mean, there's obviously a difference in terms of so many things. So we have that individuality. So it's very important in life in general that we learn how to live in peace with our individuality and our individuality in our expressions like that. It's not that like, okay, well, this person's not like me, or this person's not like I want him to be, so therefore I don't like him, or I don't like her. If that was the case, then we wouldn't be like a lot of people. It would be very difficult to go on. And as Prabhupada points out, that the test, or the Kardama Muni, it says, in spite of his immense mystic power, it was serious mystic power, he remained a devotee of the Lord. So again, he didn't lose his mind. Oh, I got this mystic power, okay, forget about Krishna, forget about Vishnu. Right? But he remained a devotee. So this is the test. Whether we get a lot of money, right? Maybe. Or maybe not. Or whether we don't get a lot of money, right? Or whatever happens in our life, the test is, do we remain a devotee? And if we do, then that's very good. It means we're fortunate, intelligent. So a life is not, he remained in his real position, but life is not meant for uselessly bickering and fault finding and backbiting and gossiping, and we could go on, right? We don't have to go on with this, but on and on and on and on. But life is about love, and specifically life is about love of Krishna. So love of Krishna, and Krishna doesn't just mean alone. Krishna means Krishna and his devotees. The spiritual world is a populated place. It is not vacant, right? So the more we could get fired up about this, loving Krishna, right, serving devotees, so on, then the more our life is successful. The more our life is successful. And in this life, the whole idea is it's a whole training. It's a training ground in which we serve Krishna, devotional service. And then for most people, they are required to take birth again in some place where Krishna is performing his pastimes, right? And in a particular material universe, and get further training. And then they go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So it's all training. So that's how we have to look at it, being trained. And it's not that when devotees, they try to help us or assist us or give us their opinions or advice or so on, it's not that they're just doing it with evil intentions. They're doing it with the idea of being trained. Because without being told something, then we'll never be trained. Right? We won't be trained. Just like people could go on for millions of years eating with their left hand, right? For example. This is just a small cultural detail which is important, but if no one tells them, just like, like brahmacharis join, we don't explain to them, hey, don't do that, or we don't show them how to put on a dhoti or something. Where's the training? There's no training. So the point is to get trained, and then to go back to the spiritual world. And this is what Kardama Muni's exemplifying his life. And starting with brahmacharya, ending with renunciation, and like that. the goal of returning to the spiritual world and in this world making a positive contribution. So does anyone have any comments or questions? Yes, okay. Okay, Abhinand.
Well, we were talking about, you said to comment a little bit on the fifth canto.
Yeah, devotees like it.
Well, there was a recent posting on one of our articles on the websites about the Bhim Kunda. Did you read about that? Bhim Kund. Well, Bhima, one time, Pandavas were walking from northern India across the desert in Madhya Pradesh, and the Draupadi was very thirsty. They had no waters. Even today, it's a very dry place. So Bhima took his staff and into the ground, punched a hole, and water came up. Now, recently, the Discovery Channel, in 2004, when the tsunami hit India, the Bhim Kund, which has never been measured, bottomless. They cannot find the bottom of Bhim Kund, even to this day. There's a cave over the top of it, and there's a temple in that cave. And when the tsunami hit Bhim Kund, the water rose 30 meters. So our scientists, therefore, have no idea what they're talking about. Because the ocean water caused pure fresh water to raise 30 meters. How is that possible? Another interesting point is that Hanuman, when he was called to rescue Sita and Ram in Patala Loka, Ahi Ravana's brother, was the residing king of Patala Loka. How is it that Hanuman was able to dive in the Indian Ocean through a tunnel and reach Patala Loka if it is a separate planetary system? No, it's part of Bhumandala. It's attached. It's the lower subterranean regions.
Yeah, it's all interesting. A lot of interesting things to study.
There's quite a few other wells and kunds in India to this day that have never found the bottom as well.
And I think I remember Bhakti Vikash Swami. I saw an article with him, and he was, Maharaj he travels all over India, or he still does, but goes to a lot of holy places, and there was a picture of this holy place, and a lot of people bathing and everything, but it was like a bottomless kund or whatever.
That's right.
It's kind of very interesting. A lot of interesting things in India. When you go to India, you'll see like kind of wild things. It's a nice place. Some devotees say it's a nice place to visit. Some don't like living there, but like Bhishma, he doesn't want to go back. I said, hey, you going to go back to India? He said, I went there once, once is enough.
And your mother also.
And my mother, so in some ways it's a difficult place, but yeah, it's tons of holy places and all these interesting things you can find there. Devamrita Swami, also, I haven't really got into that book, but he wrote that book, Searching for Vedic.
In Search of Vedic.
In Search of Vedic India? I think so. Yeah, So anyways, he travels the world, he goes to India and all these different places and checks out these sites from archaeological point of view.
There's one place in Manali called the Deo Tiba, which is a huge slice of rock where it's carved off the side of the mountain. This is in Himachal Pradesh. That was carried by 33 million demigods in the form of bumblebees, and they carried it to about 30 miles south to Nagar, and that the palace of the king of Nagar surrounds this particular temple.
Yeah.
That's another interesting thing.
Yeah.
You could visit that today.
Well, you made me think of like Govardhan Hill and how a lot of mystical stuff happens in Govardhan Hill too. But anyways, won't get into all that. But one little thing is about Krishna has slides too. I don't know if everyone knew that, but the rocks, it's like a formation of the slide. Like playground with the slide. So it's nice. So Janardhan, you had something?
Yeah, well, basically it's in the same kind of like
Vein?
vein, yeah, sure. In the purport it talks about how the planets are actually round, but yet in very many other Vedic literatures, there it talks about how the Bhumandala is flat and everything is layered beneath it, from the top down. So it's like I'm just trying to understand how that works as far as is that like dimensional, multi-dimensional, or are we talking like you have the round planets and you have the flat planets? It's like, how does that really work?
I don't know, maybe devotees in the audience have something to
Well,
say.
Bhumandala is flat,
Yeah,
or upside down.
we know what they are. I just want to know how are they coexisting.
Well, you see, what we see as far as globes go in the sky, we have the sun, we have the moon, we have Venus, we have different globes, right? So those are globes. And when the moon, the eclipse of the moon has nothing to do with the earth and the sun, it's Rahu. Rahu crosses over the moon, and that's what appears by some scientists say, oh, that's the shadow of the earth on the moon, or the shadow of the sun. But actually it's Rahu that's causing this. And Rahu is one of the planets that affects us astrologically as well. It's an invisible planet.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of things.
Did you have something to read, Booty? Yeah, like I was saying at the beginning, it's a difficult subject matter, quite mysterious, and especially difficult for certain personalities, like myself.
Well, in 1543, Copernicus, if I pronounced that correctly, started this idea of the globe.
Yeah.
That was the Western scientist. There was an Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta was a mathematician in Indian history that also had the same idea.
Yeah.
But nowhere in Srimad Bhagavatam is the version of the globe presented. It is something that's the Buddhists, the Jains, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ranakpur, Palitan, Bodhapathat in Bali, the Angkor Wat in Cambodia, all show temples of Bhumandala. They don't ever show the globe.
Yeah, practically speaking, you'll probably have to look up. I'm sure devotees have written books on this, which are probably extensive.
It's quite a controversial subject. Some devotees believe in the multi-dimensional idea with the globe combined with the Bhumandala, but it's not the version of Bhagavatam.
Yeah, you could. There's books, there's lectures. I'm sure there's some papers written about the subject, but yeah, like he's saying, it's controversial, I guess, a little bit. You'll have to talk to somebody besides myself. All right. Does anyone have any other? Okay. I have the Lakshmi for devotees, so I'll give it to you right now. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Where are we having the meeting?
We're not having a meeting now.
Doesn't matter. We have a show committee and that.
Is that yours? Yes.
Make sure you give our resident cook his allowance.
I think I might have you.
Kind of you done all this service. Krishna, Krishna.